Yeah, what up, what up? You know what time it is. It's Stitch Sham Show. I'm one half of the team, Sham Phoenix.
And I am the other Stitch Early.
And we got a lot to talk about today on this beautiful Sunday.
Yeah, it's nice.
It is like terrific here in our part of Central Maryland. I don't like saying Frederick because then people think it's Fredericksburg, Virginia. And I hate that irks me.
Because if I was from Fredericksburg, I would say Fredericksburg. You think I just left the bird off?
Yeah, I just left it all.
Yeah,
like, oh, Fredericksburg? Like, no, it's Frederick, Maryland. We're in the middle of Maryland. Central Maryland is beautiful here. But today is a very, very sad day because it was last night, wasn't it? Was it last night?
The night before last. No,
it was last night.
Because it's the Hawks, right?
Yeah,
it was against the Hawks.
Last night.
Okay.
LeBron James, the king, is down. The king has a high ankle sprain and will be out indefinitely. I don't know how I feel about that. I was really sad when I seen it. I just put my phone down. Like I know people be like, Mark, you act like you know LeBron. And in my heart, I feel like I do.
On a lower level, only because there's only a few people that I feel like we came in the league with LeBron.
Yeah,
like he's our age.
Yeah.
So we literally saw the journey of him. Yeah, when I first saw it, at first, and it's only because it's the one thing that I don't like. It's the one thing that I don't like about LeBron.
Yeah,
is the dramatics.
Yeah,
it
was a lot.
So when I first saw him go down, I was like, man, is this real? When they showed the replay and I saw it, yes. So normally when your ankle, like I've rolled the ankle, normally you roll your ankle outwards.
Yeah,
you roll it out. This one was in because he fell on it.
Yeah,
someone fell on his leg. So I was like, oh, okay, now this is a little bit more serious. It's not just your typical like flop on a foul or something like that.
And then I knew that he wasn't coming back when he made the post like road to recovery. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
and when the one thing, because I'm still an avid basketball player, the one thing that happens when you get older is it takes a lot longer for your body to recover.
To recover, it does,
to heal. I remember you could jam a finger, pop that joint.
Keep it moving.
And you kept it moving. Now, if I jam a finger, that joint might be jammed for the rest of my life.
I told you we had an escalation that I was involved in.
I like that escalation.
It was an escalation that I was involved in. And when I tell you, my body was sore for like the whole week. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember as a kid, like, man, I get into it.
You might have another one the next day and it's light work.
I gotta get right back to it. I was hurting. I thought to myself, I was like, you know what? I need to get me a good lawyer. Because I'm not gonna have no more escalation.
Nah, it's different when that age get on you. When they say growing pains,
man,
facts. That's
so yeah. So he'll be days off. So when they said, I believe he'll try to get back. I mean, that's just I think is in his nature to try to get back. And especially with Anthony Davis being out, I don't know.
They say he may even be out a little longer.
Yeah, so like they're really like the Lakers they may take a hit as far as their playoff seeding, especially if those two, can't get back quickly.
And the good thing is at least he's back. Schroeder's back. Yep, Schroeder's back. So that was a plus that at least they have somebody in that point guard position. And Kuzma's actually been looking, very good.
And this is a great time, I think, if I was a coach, to put Taylor Horton-Tucker out there.
Put him out
and
there.
let him go to work and just see where it goes. I mean,
his game is like...
It's Harden-esque.
It's like because he gets to the point.
Yeah.
But it's a very like awkward...
It is. It's very awkward.
It's a very awkward... So when you see people guarding him, it's just... He does things that there's certain players... that only they do. Yes. Like if someone else were to do it, you would go, oh, that was luck.
Yeah.
But he does it so often that you be like, okay, this is how your game is. This is a part of your game.
Like Kyrie takes awkward shots.
Awkward layups and spins off the backboard that you could tell are practiced.
Yes. Yeah. So I think this is a perfect time if you're not trying to salvage your playoff position and you just want to get some of these guys some reps in there to maybe to perform better in the playoffs. Yeah. So you got your bench is now a little bit more experienced, a little bit more depth. I think you just go and just let it fly and see what happens. Because at this point, you don't got nothing.
Because y'all are at a good place now, so you might as well. LeBron's not out there, AD's not out there.
Let's just see what you got.
And I think if those guys can rise to the occasion, when you add the two superstars
Man,
back,
they're gonna be.
then
it's
you're
gonna be
straight
great.
because not a lot of other teams are getting that same, like, even if you think about like Brooklyn.
Yeah.
KD is out, but you still have two stars playing. So it would be different if like KD and Harden were out, or KD and Kyrie were out, and now you could see what these other guys could do. So
I think it'll be a good situation for the coaches to get some reps in with some other guys. And speaking of basketball, I think we talked about
and people losing their standings in this thing called life.
So I think we talked about it last week. The Norman girls basketball team played Midwest City girls team, and the Midwest City girls team is predominantly white. The Norman girls basketball team is predominantly black. And there was a hot mic for one of the announcers, and he basically called the Norman girl basketball team N-words because
I just want to make sure his emphasis.
He definitely went in.
He called them effing.
Yeah, he went in. He went in on them.
Right.
And so now that announcer has issued an apology, and the caveat to this apology is he basically said he's not racist, nor would he ever say anything like that, and that the reason that this racism even reared its ugly head was because he had low blood sugar,
because he has type 1
diabetes, and the type 1 diabetes is what led to his racist comments. That he normally would not say anything like that. It's just that his sugar was low. He did not have a Snickers. And
I searched and I just searched like type 1 diabetes, and like
racism?
I never saw like the one thing that I didn't see in the list was a propension to say nigga.
Yeah, like, they just never. It's not there.
I didn't see it nowhere, and I looked. It's nowhere in there,
bro. When I heard that, I was like, "All right, enough is enough. Like, you are racist. You said something racist. Just own it.
And I think we talked about it last week about when you like how your apology should just be your apology. Yeah, I think when you make an apology and then you have all of these like caveats to your apology, it diminishes the apology.
It's like you weren't saying sorry. You were saying sorry for your blood sugar being low.
And basically. so that means that that means like there should be other instances where we've seen that. No, just say, hey, I would take it more, and I would respect you more if you was like, look, that's just really how I felt at the time. Like, I ain't know the mic was on. It was me voicing just how I felt at the time. I apologize that it came out how it came out. I'm gonna respect that more than you to blame it on diabetes. Like diabetes. Like, I know people with diabetes and no one's ever called me the N-word because they had diabetes.
I don't know, man. I just was so disappointed because I was like, yo, this is where we're going. This is like, and this is going to be an acceptable. I haven't heard anybody say that this was not an acceptable apology.
It was like, oh, they just report. I've heard it just reported on.
Yeah.
And no one kind of jumping out. No one has
said that this is unacceptable. We're not going to take that you're type 1 diabetes because your blood sugar was low, that you could just call people the N-word.
I want to see the next diabetic medicine.
Like,
just on the commercial.
May cause you to say?
May cause bouts of racism.
Like that, like the fact that he typed this up, right, and inserted that, right, he lent that information to us. It's really unnecessary.
It's the Chad with the Dave Chappelle. I didn't know that I couldn't do that.
I didn't know I couldn't do it. Like I want to know what else you can do with type 1 diabetes. Yeah. If you can be racist, and you could probably do other, like you could rob a bank and be like, you know what? I didn't mean to steal that money. Yeah, my blood sugar was low.
I didn't have my Snickers today, so
I didn't have some peanut butter crackers with me or a juice.
Man,
so I robbed the bank.
That's why. Like
it's just one of those things. It's like, how long are we going to allow Caucasians to just get away with stuff like that?
I mean, so the thing is, I think when you are. And I can't, I'm not white.
Yes.
But just my thoughts on majority of white individuals are born with a certain sense of entitlement.
Yeah, feels
Just
like that.
It just feels that way to just things, to how they feel, how things move. So like, if I feel this way, I should be allowed to feel this way. I can make up any excuse for it. Yeah. And it even goes into the Robert Long murders. Yeah. Which is what it was. That's exactly what it was. You know what I mean? And his reasoning for it being that he's a sex addict and he killed them because he felt that he could get rid of his temptation. So that was his reason for doing it.
But you just chopped off.
You could just chop your penis off, because
killing other people don't help.
You can't fulfill the temptation there. But killing them, that you still gonna have the temptation. You didn't go to every single spa in the world.
Yeah. And then is it the police chief comes on and says, "Well, he was just having a bad day."
He was having a bad day.
I was like, "Oh, that's acceptable for killing people now?"
Yeah, he was having a bad day.
I was like, I feel like George Floyd was having a bad day. We didn't give him a pass.
My body count should be up.
For bad days?
For bad days? If that's what we could get away with for having bad days, my body count should be up.
It just is incredible at like the level of mercy and grace and gratitude that they give. I think it's the numbers are up there. I don't know the exact statistics, but I think it's like 85, 90% of mass murders in America, like the biggest killings of like mass murders have been Caucasian males, white males. But the world keeps pasting Muslims and black people and Spanish people, or MS-13, and I was like, no. As the real threats in America.
The real threat, like what, a few years ago, building the wall to keep them out.
They're rapists,
because they're
like Brock Turner's a rapist.
When right in our own nation is everything that you was trying to keep out is already here. It's the most privileged people. And privileged by, in the sense of the color of your skin. And you're the ones doing the things that we're claiming that other people are more.
I'm trying to remember. Somebody posted this video online, and it showed like at the top of the video was the treatment and the arresting procedures for black men, unarmed black men, and then at the bottom there's a serial killer sitting on the ground with like he's got his shirt off and his hands are tied and
bulletproof vest on.
They're feeding him water. He just murked 8-7 people. And they're giving him a drink of water.
He's like, we got to make sure he's okay.
And then they're choking Eric Gardner. For standing outside selling loose cigarettes. And it's just, and the fact that we keep trying to create this narrative, and this kind of goes into the next thing that we're going to talk about, that we got such an uproar with Black Lives Matter, right? And there was all of this counteracting that statement.
All lives matter.
All lives matter. And now we have Stop Asian Hate. And I don't hear anybody saying any countermeasures to stop Asian hate.
Nah. And even on the flip side of it, it's something that we talked about before on an episode, in the sense of when we say Black Lives Matter, it's not negating any other race.
Not.
It's just right now at the time, the ones being affected are Black lives. So when my first thought when I saw Asian Lives Matter and Stop Asian Hate, the first thing I thought wasn't, what about Black lives? All lives should matter.
I never thought that.
I never thought. I actually, let me repost that. Yeah. Stop Asian hate. You shouldn't be hating Asian people.
You shouldn't hate anybody.
And right now, the victim of the moment happened to be Asians. So if we gonna stop that, and I rock with that, just like I rock with Black Lives Matter, because Asian lives matter too.
Yeah.
So it's not, and I really feel, and that's why I said I think that white privilege of if we're not included in this, if you're not talking about us in this, then we're gonna wipe out whatever it is that you're talking about. And it's like it's not about you all the time.
No. And I think but this is the thing, and we all know because we've seen it, that there's a lot of hypocrisy with that statement of all lives matter, because you guys have shown that you really only care about your lives.
Facts.
Because if it came down to the blue, y'all stormed the Capitol. Y'all didn't care about the blue then.
And when the Blue Lives Matter stuff came out, you never saw people going, no, blue lives don't matter. All lives matter. No, they was like, blue lives matter. Because that's who you rock with.
they sacrifice themselves every day. No, we all sacrifice ourselves every day.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure those people that went to work that day or went, because I don't know whether it was workers or whether it was people who were actually getting massages at the spa. I'm pretty sure when they started their day and went to wherever the place was that they were supposed to be, they didn't go, you know what? There's going to be a sex addict that wants to take out his temptation, and he's going to take that out on me today by killing me.
Right. And they sacrifice their lives going to work. Right. And they probably have loved ones and people that they're never going to come home to.
Exactly. Because someone took it upon themselves to take their issues out on others, and then for someone to stand like and have just the audacity to stand up and actually you as the police chief, and you're gonna say he was having a bad day. So that makes it better.
Yeah.
Because he was having a bad day.
To sit and be like, my type 1 diabetes allowed me to be racist.
Exactly.
It's cool for me to be racist because of my
and I'm just supposed to accept it.
There's no, like, if I was to say something racist right now on this podcast, on this show, and it went viral, I guarantee you that I would not get the same type of open-mindedness at all.
Especially, and then you came on and be like, I had to hurry up and we had to start the pod, so I wasn't able to eat today.
You know what I'm saying?
I hadn't eaten yet. And when I don't eat, I just turn into this whole other person, and this just roars up in me.
And it makes me say things that are racist. Come on.
Like, this is the worst excuses ever.
And it's so amazing that like people were like, okay.
I guess in my head, I just don't know how you even think that through.
Yeah.
Like, how do you think that through and go,
I'm gonna type that.
I think that's the one to go with.
Needs to be known. Yeah, that needs to be known.
Not, I just apologize. I wasn't trying to offend anybody or anything like that. Not that.
Yeah.
But my diabetes was acting up.
And it just leads me to be racist.
Yeah.
And normally I don't say things like that. That's not stuff that I say.
Nah.
And then I think he went as far as to, and this is the other thing. This irks me to no end as well. I'm a father. I used to be a youth pastor. What does that mean?
Nothing.
The KKK is a hate group that follows Christian
values.
Christian values. Yeah. They burn crosses on your lawn.
They follow Christian values and they will burn a cross real quick.
So I don't care about you being no father and being no youth pastor. That don't mean you're not racist.
It's mad racist people with kids. And majority of the racist people with kids got racist kids.
That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't want to hear, I'm a father and I'm a husband. That don't mean nothing.
It doesn't.
What does that have to do with your heart? You think that
if anything, to me, it kind of makes it worse, because what it shows me
you didn't think about that stuff while you was talking.
You didn't think about it when you was talking, but then it also makes me go into like a deeper look and go, yo, what is you teaching your kids? Like, what's happening if you did this in a public forum?
Yeah.
What are you doing at the crib? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
what are you saying?
What are you saying at the crib when you're at a public forum, you were just so free to say, yo, these effing ends. It leads me to believe that at the house.
Oh, he's letting it go.
You was letting it fly at the house.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, facts.
I'm pretty sure when the mic is not hot, you probably said something.
This was probably just the first time.
Listen.
That he because he got caught, it was like, oh, this was the first time where you got put in this situation.
Yeah, you just got caught.
But y'all probably normally, because it was just so like, and we talked about it in the Myers-Leonard situation of how when you're laxed, and this goes for everybody. I think this is not even just a racial issue in the sense of when people are relaxed, you get to kind of see them. So one of the other things that happened this past week, Kev on stage, he had a stand-up joint that he had put out. Yeah. And in the stand-up, he said nigga. He said nigga in the stand-up. Like, he's talking about Netflix.
People were in an uproar.
And people were like, yo, he said, like, the joke was, why you don't have a Netflix? And he's like, nigga, I don't need a Netflix special. Like, why do I have to have a Netflix special?
He's like, I don't know. He's like, you need to ask them that question.
And people got in an uproar that he used the N-word. And so on their podcast, he talked about how he was like, on All Def Digital, which I've watched, I've seen him use the word.
I've seen him use the word.
Outside of his Kev on Stage brand, I've seen him use the word. So But he says it. He was like, first off, in the context of what he told the joke, it made sense within the context because I was talking about a conversation.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't use the word that often, but I use it when I'm like relaxed, when I'm around people that I feel comfortable around. Like, that's just how we'll
that's how we talk.
First off, he's black, so hey, do your thing. Like, so
when we're chilling outside of this space, I use that word all the time.
Facts, because it's one of those words that amongst ourselves, it can be used for a variety of things. Good, bad, great. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it being that type of thing, there's an understanding of it. So for them to be sitting there and that mic, like at this chill moment, and him just to splurt out, it's like, oh, that's what you say this. Yeah. That wasn't a one-time thing.
This is the other thing. There's two announcers there, right? He's the only, I think, is it Rowan? Is that his last
Rowan,
name?
Yeah, Rowan was the one that apologized.
He's the only one that apologized. But now you have to ask yourself, how comfortable was the other person? Because he just said it. There was the other dude didn't counteract it. He didn't come back out and be like, I disagree with those comments or nothing.
And how comfortable was he with the other person? So we're like, this must have been, because even in that word, like how we said we'll use it amongst each other, like, I don't know every single black person. No. So just because I'm around black people, it just don't be like, I'm going to just be saying this word.
Because some people don't like it.
And it's almost in the sense of, like, I don't curse. Like in my everyday conversation, I'm not just, oh, what I'm up? It's just not a part of my everyday conversation. I know people who do. Yeah. And I'll see those people based upon what situation they're in. If it's a situation where they're comfortable and they chill and they know, you might hear more fly than if they come into a situation and it's like, man, I don't really know everybody here. So I kind of I'll tailor my conversation and how I speak based on that. So
sometimes some people find profanity to be offensive, right?
Yeah.
So like if I'm around friends or family that I'm comfortable with,
things might fly.
You might hear some things.
Yeah. So so for him to just be able to say, and to me, it's always it's the adjectives. Yeah. Like the adjective,
the thing before the actual word.
It's the thing before the actual word. Like, you know what I'm saying? That is so it's different when you just like, and not that there's any difference, but just in life, when a person is speaking.
Like if I go, what's up, dog? But if I go, man, you filthy dog.
Yeah, it adds something.
Filthy adds something to the dog.
It adds something. Like, if you say, what's up, dog? You like, oh, that's my mother. Like, dog.
Yeah,
it's like it adds something to the.
That's a deeper, like, y'all really rock.
And so when he said, he didn't just say, and the reason why I don't say it is because it's the one.
Yes,
he's not. It ain't the endearing.
Nah, it wasn't.
This was the 1952.
Yeah, it was
Mississippi burning.
Yeah, it was definitely that.
That's where he went with it,
and you could tell that it came from like a place of hate.
Yeah,
like he didn't hesitate.
Nah,
he said it with
that joint just.
He said it with a lot of conviction.
It flowed,
and I was just like, oh wow. Because even when I heard it, I was like, oh.
Because I had to, and like I said, I had to run it back.
Yeah, because it is muffled. It is
because I heard it, and you know how sometimes you'll hear something and you go, maybe I'm just
it wasn't like
it.
that.
And I went back and I was like, no, that was it. He hopped out there.
Yeah, and that's why I say, even again with the times that we're in, it just feels disheartening because it's like, okay, our world just got flipped upside down.
Yeah.
Per a racial situation, right? Mm-hmm. The world itself, and I know people are like, did it? It did. It was. I mean, it's evident. Like the murder of George Floyd flipped the world on its head, right?
In many different ways.
Big business became conscious of Black lives and Black contribution, and all of these things are happening, and then this still is taking place, and there wasn't really they reported it. Not in an uproar sense, but just as something.
It was just as news. Like it was like, in other news.
Yeah, like not in an uproar. Like this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
I haven't even heard anybody call. I mean, again, this is me. I haven't heard anybody call for his job or anything like that. Like,
I'm not. I just know the schools is all I heard about the school. Them coming forth and just saying we support our players. Like that, but I don't know if there's been any decisions as far as like on his job.
Yeah, because that was Midwest
or anything like that.
announcers.
Yeah.
So like I haven't heard Midwest City the schools say anything.
Yeah. So and the only thing I heard them say was, we support our players.
Okay. So was that Norman or was that Midwest? That was Midwest?
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as they support our players, but I didn't hear anything from them as far as like any actions that would be taken against him. Any actions that would be taken against him. And I think in that case, like, man, like something has to happen. Yeah. There has to be some action, you know what I mean, in some way, shape, or form, because that was wild.
Because like I always say this, and like hate is such a strong thing, right? But if you don't like me for a valid reason, right? Like you got to know me, we were in the same space for a long period of time, and you just don't like the qualities
I just don't
of
rock
me,
with you.
Then that's cool. Yeah. I understand that. That's cool. I might not be everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine. But to not know me and to hate me without even getting to know me, I feel is a big problem.
Yeah, I feel it's
because I don't want to stop anybody from disliking something. If you don't like me, or maybe even this, I even go with this. Like if you're a white person and you had a bad experience with black people and you don't like black people because of your bad experience, I can even accept that.
Yeah, because there's even, and of course you never want to judge everybody based on one experience. But I can understand. I would have more understanding if man, every time I dealt with a specific type of person, I got this result. Then you might go, all right, maybe it's them and not me.
Yeah, like for instance,
sometimes.
So I don't have a great run-in with Caucasian women. Just don't. Not all the time.
Oh yeah, no, facts.
But I can't make a judgment on all Caucasian women based upon the ones that I run into, because that's not true. I have met some very nice Caucasian women. They're nice people.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like 1,000%. No joke. So but
when you say that joint is true, in your regard, like that joint is 1,000% true.
And so it's one of those things. Is like, could I build up a hatred towards white women? I could if based on experience.
Based on experiences, yeah.
But because I am in my right mind, because we also need to make this a statement too. Racism is taught, right? Yeah. It's a part of the psyche.
It's a learned behavior.
It is a psychological disorder.
Yeah.
That has been created by whomever you take your information from.
Same person that created Santa Claus.
I believe that people who are racist are psychopaths. That's my belief. No. Because it's a part of your psyche. You look at a person without even getting to know them or engaging with them, and you just automatically, your brain sensor goes, I hate them and I want to kill them. That's a psychopath's mindset.
And I think it's an insecurity. I think racism is an insecurity. Like when you look at majority of the things that racists speak about and why they don't like the other race, it often comes with a lot of things that they can't do.
Yes.
I see this other race. Oh, they can do this. Like when it came to African Americans, it was like, man, they're stronger. They're fast. They're everything that you not.
Yeah.
So what's the best way for me to rationalize this in my head? Oh, I can suppress all of that in a different way.
Yeah.
By me being the master and them being the slave, I can now suppress all of that strength, all of that intelligence, all of that. I can suppress it and make them think that they're one thing that they're not.
Yep.
Also going like what you said psychologically.
Yes.
And that's where like even with and that's even with like Kanye West, when he made the slavery was a choice. It's like as dumb as a statement as it was, I understood what he was talking about as far as psychologically.
We could have rebelled. We could have done this, but we didn't.
But psychologically, they just how they teach their kids to be one way. They were showing us to be one way. You're supposed to be. You're supposed to be just like us. We're gonna point out your insecurities.
Yes.
We're gonna make you insecure. We're gonna make you like us in the sense of we're gonna make sure you can't read. So now even if you are smart, you can't read.
Yeah.
And I've showed you that. So now those insecurities start to creep in.
Yeah.
And now you end up having a race of people who are insecure about everything. Why? Because it's passed down and it's passed down and it's passed down by someone else who created a false narrative.
But even if you look at that, like the foundation of that, right? So let's just take reading for foundational proof. throughout the years, what we do well as Black people is pass down things, right? So if I myself didn't go to high school, right, there's going to be two answers to that question that I'll teach my child. I'll either teach my child to extremely value education, or I'll teach them to devalue education. And in that instance, most Black people were teaching their children to devalue it, right? Because they were like, listen, you got to go out here and help me till this land.
So I understand that you want to go to school.
I understand.
But we have things to take care of the house. Exactly.
And then...
So it became more about a priority, than really caring about like things that were necessities, like education, things of that nature.
And then on the other end of that spectrum is for the ones who extremely valued education. Our society said we're going to make sure that we put a heavy price on it, so that way even if they do get it, they're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
It's not going to be just that easy to obtain
for them to get it,
right?
Yeah, because
we generally don't have financial wealth like that. So I felt like it's like, man, they bookend us on every end, and then be like, well, you guys got to figure out a way to make it happen. And it's just like, this guy right here can have type 1 diabetes and be racist, keep his job or what. I don't know what they're doing, but he could get another opportunity.
No, oh yeah, definitely.
No problem.
Yeah.
He could move to another state, get a whole nother opportunity. That tag won't follow him.
Yep.
But if you put me through the system, that tag will follow.
It stays with you no matter what.
No matter what.
Even in cases where, like when everything comes out, that you find out that that person didn't do everything that they said that they did. But now the stigma of everything,
don't clean up the story.
Because and I'm trying to think of the there's a documentary, I want to say it's on Netflix. Yeah. And I forget the name of it, but it's like this real story that happened in Boston. Okay. And it was African American guy. There was a murder or something, and they pinned it on him. Yeah. He went to jail. Like he fought it. He always said that he was innocent, fought it. And I want to say 15, he did like 15 or 20 years. Oof. Something like that. It was like 15 or 20 years that he did. And then the evidence came out that it wasn't him. Yeah. And he was free, but even in him being free, he's like, I'm free, but
I did the time already.
I did the time and that's on my jacket. So still I have to get that off of me.
I have to get expunged. Yep.
I'm out here and I think it was like the murder of like a prostitute or something like that. That it was, but it's like that's still on him. Yeah. That stigma, you know what I mean, is still on him. And I think so often when in certain situations, when things it seems like, I'm not gonna say that it is or it isn't, it just seems that in certain situations, especially when it comes to African Americans, when we are not going along with the program,
they'll make it
often
rough.
Seems like things go left. So even in the case of like Deshaun Watson.
Oh, okay.
In the case of Deshaun Watson, and with him, everybody knows he's been saying like, I'm not coming.
I won't play.
I won't play. I'll sit out. I told y'all I wanted to be traded. If y'all not gonna trade me,
I won't play.
I'm gonna sit out. So the other day I'm sitting down watching TV, and all of a sudden on the screen pops up, there have been 12 assault charges from women, sexual assault charges from women that have been placed on Deshaun Watson. And so I was just like, so not, discounting the victims or anything like that. I don't know everything that's going on, with the story and things, but it was just, for lack of a better term, funny to me.
It felt convenient.
Convenient that he sits out and says, I'm not going to play for y'all. And we haven't heard nothing about this.
I've never heard anything
since he's
about
been playing with the Texans. Nothing about this. Because I'm sure this wasn't stuff that just happened yesterday. Yeah. Like, and then all of a sudden, once he's not going along with the system, he all of a sudden has 12 sexual assault cases. Like,
so it says this, right? And I think you brought this up prior to us turning on. It brings up this, like, so did the Texans hide this? Because he was going along with the system and everything,
and held it and was holding it
and was holding over his head,
and then once he bucked against the system, it was like,
we'll just
so you want all right, bet, let's leak,
or
what we've known.
Is it not true?
Exactly.
And it didn't happen. And this is just a way to say either you play or we'll just ruin your life.
Yeah. And so it leaves it. And like I said, I guess we'll see at the end, you know, once everything. And that's why I said I didn't want us to
go too deep on it.
Because like I don't know about the victims.
There's 12 other people.
There's 12 other people.
Could be true.
Yeah, that facts. You know what I mean?
We could be downplaying their experience when it actually did happen.
When it happened, you know, but it just was convenient
that it just happened after he said I'm not.
That it was just when he said I'm not playing, and now I'm affecting the organization financially because if y'all aren't winning. It doesn't bode well for y'all.
Anyway,
but as far as his play and stuff like that, and him being as young as he is, and the money that they owe him, for him to be like, I'm not gonna play for y'all because there was stuff that y'all were supposed to do that we talked about that y'all didn't do.
Well, there's two things that I think, especially here with this organization, the Texans, you got to ask yourself when you lose the key piece to your organization. When JJ Watt says, I don't want to be here.
Like, I'm good.
This organization is terrible. And goes to another one. And he's like one of the highlight stand-up dudes of the league.
And especially for the Texans.
Yeah, like he was like, I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here.
It will almost be like Ray Lewis when Ray Lewis was Ray Lewis leaving, just up and being like, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to play. I don't want to play for Baltimore.
That should raise an eyebrow, but this situation again, as unfortunate as it sounds, like this is the world that we've been tossed into. Yeah. And as a black man, I don't know whether to believe Deshaun Watson or believe this account, and it just seems like,
and it has nothing to do with the victims. It just has to do with from the outside looking in, and we just see how certain times it's like someone will start winning, and then it'll be like, hold up, where did that come from? Like, where did that roadblock come from that hasn't been there this whole time? Yeah. And then just all of a sudden, out the blue. And like I said, we'll do more research on it and see, you know, who the victims are and what the things are. But it's definitely something that raised the eyebrow for me, that it was just the timing of it.
It's weird.
It was just weird.
It's super weird.
You know, and I think they said some of that about, like, I'm not sure too many details, but like, I guess Bill Cosby was trying to buy CBS or something, and then
or
boom,
NBC, one of the two,
something like that. Yeah, and then it was like boom, then this happened. You know, so it's just different things like that. That
there have been women, and this is multiple women that have come forward and said that what they said about Bill Cosby was not true.
Oh, okay.
And there's a couple of other women who have stuck with their story.
It's like, nah, this is what happened.
That's the thing that we kind of get stuck in, especially when it comes to black men or black women being put in situations like these, is that we go, is this true, or are you just altering a form of the truth? Yeah. Because it can conveniently wipe somebody out that you don't want to be in that place. Exactly. And that just makes me, I'll tell you something kind of similar that I feel in the same way. Like, I understand that the vaccine is needed, right? To heal or rid the world of coronavirus to some degree.
Or subside it.
But medical practices on black men and women and people of color have been a little bit disproportionate and how they handle things. We were almost like
guinea pigs.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? In certain
let's see how this will work out.
1800s, 1900s, like it just
Tuskegee experiments.
Yeah, just like that type of stuff like that. Reading that information makes me leery about taking things like the vaccine, even though I know it could help and it would be a great service to get it.
Because you think about you do think about the people around you. You think about your parents. You think about the people that you come in contact and stuff.
But it just makes me. I start thinking, and I'd be like, are they? Who's to say that they giving black people the correct dose?
No, and I don't think it. And like, for people that sit and go like, why would you think like that? Like I said, a lot of the things, oftentimes that you think about, are based off of your experiences. Oh man. So a lot of times what we've seen is in these cases, like you talked about with the different experiments and the different things that they would do to black people, like, let's just use them as guinea pigs since we see them as animals anyway. Let's go ahead and use them and see if it works. And if it works, great. And if it don't work, we'll just discard the body and keep it moving.
Exactly. It's like you can't give me record of legislation that says I'm 3/4 of a man. You can't give me history and textbooks that say we used you as slaves, and then tell me that you have a great concern for my life by giving me a vaccine.
I think
it's just hard for me to process that.
And I think it's in, I forget what state, but I know there's a state, and there was a vote the other day to end like racism. I mean, not racism, but is it not racism? But what is it? I'm trying to think of what the exact word. But in their legislation, it basically says that like, I guess the abolishment of like slavery.
It's
still
there.
It's still in their joint that like slavery is still cool.
It's relative.
And they voted to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And four senators voted against it and was just like, I mean, like, it's pointless to do it now. Like,
no, it's not.
It's not pointless to do it now because if we see what just happened with Donald Trump, things could go left real quick. You know what I mean? So, but the fact that like someone would still in 2021 stand up and go, yeah, what's wrong with it being there? Like, we don't even worry about it. Then what's wrong with it not?
It's just like this. Like right now, if I go outside and I grab a bunch of white men and white women and throw them on a boat and take them over to Africa against their will, guess what I'm doing? I'm kidnapping.
Yep. Exactly.
Simple as that. That's, I mean, for years.
And you're a trafficker.
Yes. But for years, centuries, our United States government allowed for people to be kidnapped, taken away from their homes, taken away from their families, raped, murdered, pillaged, disenfranchised.
Across seas and here.
And here.
And here.
And now you're going to tell me that you care so much about me that you're willing to sacrifice something that saves lives when you murdered my people 1,000 times over. It just makes me leery.
And I think we'll always be leery.
Oh, we're always.
I think, and that's why for most people, like even for me, like I've thought about getting the vaccine. Has it been a thought? Like, because you go, man, I be around my grandparents. I be around, you know what I'm saying, my parents and just random people I don't know too. You know what I mean? Yeah. But then there's that other side that goes, man, I'll wait till y'all get it.
I just want to see.
I just need to see. Oh, you got it? You good? Oh, you still? So you straight? Right. All right. So that's one person I could check off. All right. I need a good list. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? What was the I forget the Jay-Z line. I can't think of it now. Now I can't think of it. But it's basically that line of like, I need to see more. Yeah. I need to see more.
We don't believe you.
We don't believe. Yeah, that's it.
We need more people.
We don't believe you. We need more people.
Yeah.
And that's just how I feel about the vaccine, where it's like, once I see more people, and I'm like, okay, so you good. Then it makes me, it just brings a more, I'm more comfortable.
Yeah, most
with
definitely.
Then saying like, all right, cool. Now I can try that out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But we'll see. That, man, shout out to Hov for always having life.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Hov just be having.
Yeah, like because that's the first thing I was like, we don't believe you. We need more people.
He's like one of the only rappers you can do that.
The other person that I will give, and like I'm not a hugest fan of him, but the other person that I'll give him, if Hov is the one, the second one will be Drake.
Yeah, you could do Drake's.
I don't know a lot of Drake's joints, but I know that Drake, YOLO, you only live once. Yeah. Like Drake is a creator. Like when I feel when Drake writes, he writes like.
But his joints are like Drake is tuned to like a certain mentality.
Yeah,
like Hov be saying grown stuff.
Hov be like stuff that just is regular.
Yeah, like just be just like
like that one right there.
Like no,
and we don't believe you.
Like I told you, sell drugs. No,
Hov
did that.
So hopefully you won't have to go through that. Yeah, it's just what it is.
You're like.
He's like Hov is like LeBron.
Yeah, he is like.
I only said that because of somebody we got here.
No. Hov is Jordan.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So somebody asked the other day. I'll ask you this question and see what you say. So they asked me, do I think Kanye West is a top 5 artist?
Ooh.
And when I say artist, I'm not talking about just hip hop. I'm saying all over the board.
Oh, all over the board?
Across the board, like Michael Jackson, like across the board.
I would say
top 5.
Top 10.
Okay.
Not top 5. and this is the reason why I won't say top 5, is because there are certain people who have contributed more. What?
See, that's what I said this to you. If you're watching,
they're on it.
What he about to say? If I said
there's
that,
people
you know who you are.
And Kanye needs those people to help him have influence, right? Like Kanye is. Yeah. I always say top 10 because he did change music, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard.
So here's what I said. I said I didn't think, for me, because they were like, you have to add production. I was like, that's a different thing to me, because I'm just talking about him, the artist, not him, the producer. And I was like, I said the thing about Kanye is,
maybe I need to move him up.
I said the thing about Kanye, the reason why I don't have him top 5 as far as overall is because, yes, of course, did Michael Jackson have writers? There were a lot of different artists that have writers and things of that nature. I was like, but the one thing that we saw is like, no matter who was around Mike, you still got Mike.
Yeah.
There was still no variation. There was no variation. Like, you still got Mike. So it's almost the thing where I was saying, like, with Kanye and Drake, there's a consistency factor with Drake to where it's the consistency of it makes you not necessarily look at the bodies of work. You look at just the consistency of a year-to-year thing. Whereas with Kanye, at times, and like because I don't know the inner workings, but it seemed as if when the Really Those and the Rhyme Fests and the GLCs and the, you know what I'm saying, the No IDs, when those guys were in the picture heavy, there was a more high quality side of Kanye. And then when you saw some of those people, the Consequences and stuff like that kind of move away from it, we kind of saw a slight decline. And he's a different person, because almost just like Hove, Wayne, people like that, once they get into that space where you're not necessarily comparing them to others, you're comparing them to themselves. Like I don't compare Kanye to anybody else. I compare Kanye to Kanye.
Yeah, to his and that's because this is the thing. When you get into artist talk, we have to ask ourselves, because there's so many categories of genres of music and artistry, right? Like, there's only a couple people that fall in universal appeal. Michael Jackson is a universal appeal. Like, I know white people that love Mike. I know black people that love people.
Blue, brown,
And Kanye is kind of there. That's why I don't put Jay-Z in that category, because I don't think Jay-Z doesn't have a universal appeal as an artist. He has a universal appeal as a business.
Like Drake is in there.
Yeah, like Drake has a universal
appeal. Like, across the board, everyone listens, you know what I'm saying, listens to Drake. And I think other people, Prince.
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Are universal
certain people that Bob Marley.
Yes.
Like, we saw when we went to when the Wailers came.
Yes, everybody was in there.
Everybody was in that joint. Any person that you could think of was in that joint.
So that's why I say it's hard, because Kanye, artists do make contributions. Like, I'll even bring up this artist and people will be like, what do you mean? Like, so like a Bryson Tiller, right? Bryson Tiller changed R&B.
Yeah.
Chris Brown
He brought a different sound. Bryson Tiller brought a whole different sound.
And now people are doing his sound.
They're doing renditions of Bryson Tiller. Tory Lanez,
T-Pain. Changed music.
T-Pain changed music. Yep. Yeah.
Now, he might not get the credit for changing it, but he did. Soulja Boy changed music. Yeah. Are these instrumental artists on an everyday basis? Probably not.
And sometimes it's not just even the tie in basketball, like we talk about. Like, I always say there's 4 people to me that changed. Like, I always say LeBron, Allen Iverson, Steph Curry, and Jordan.
Yes.
And they changed basketball in different ways. Steph Curry, if it wasn't for Steph, nobody's shooting from
no one cares.
From half court.
No, nobody cares.
If it wasn't LeBron, you're not seeing guys put me first.
Yeah.
Like, I make this team. Like, the team, but I'm going to control what my career does. Jordan, wasn't people so worried about branding and things of that nature. Like, Jordan made it dope for you as a player to come in and be like, nah, I got to have a brand.
Yep.
Allen Iverson made it dope for you to be you. Like, nah, I'm going to be tatted. I'm going to rock my cornrows. I'm going to have my tat. Like, I'm gonna dress how I want to dress. If I want to rap, I'm gonna rap. Like I'm gonna do all of the things that I want to do. And now when you look at the league, you see a bunch of versions of Allen Iverson.
Yeah, you do. You see a ton
you see
of
a bunch of versions
Iverson.
of Steph Curry. You see a bunch of versions of Jordan. You see a bunch of versions of LeBron when you look at the league.
And that's why I say like it's hard. It's especially hard to categorize Kanye because he did bring a lot to the table.
Yeah.
But as we started to peel back the layers, kind of like with Drake too. Like we were like, oh, Drake is bringing some stuff, but then we started peeling back the layers and we're like, is he really a genius or is he just good at delegating, jobs to people to get things done?
Yeah. So like if Drake did other things, I would say that. But because Drake don't do other things,
it's like 40,
if a 40 is his producer, because I feel that, like I'll use Cardi B. Like Partisan Fontaine writes a lot of Cardi B's records, but at the end of the day, Cardi has to get on there and she has to bring that to life.
Yes, because Partisan Fontaine is a rapper himself, and he released music, but he's not nowhere near Cardi B.
Exactly. So for her to almost like an actor does to read those words on paper and bring them to life as if they're hers, that takes a certain skill set.
Yes.
So even for me, like, yes, the thing with Drake and like Quentin Miller, to me, took him out of the writer conversation.
Yes. It's not taking out of the artist.
It don't take him out of the artist because
I heard Quentin Miller.
I heard Quentin Miller's version of them songs, and them joints was not Drake versions of them songs.
It wasn't. It didn't hit.
It wasn't
hit like that.
It wasn't. And I even say that same thing about Kanye to a lesser extent. Yeah. Like we heard Jesus Walks when it wasn't Kanye, and we heard Jesus Walks with Rhymefest.
Yes,
because Jesus Walks was Rhymefest's song.
Yeah, and
Kanye just adds a different. There's a different thing that he adds. So there's things that I take away, but then there's like things that I give because it's like
it was his idea.
It was Kanye, and he almost gets a slight pass. Sorry. He almost gets a slight pass for me because he was one of those people that came in and was like, I'm going to do it this way.
Yes.
And I'm not going to always give you the same. So even when I get a Yeezus, as much as I may not like Yeezus in comparison to other Kanye albums, I was able to listen to Yeezus and be like,
he's just trying
I liked that.
Yeah, he's just trying something different.
I'm going to pick out the things that I do like because I know who you are, and you're a person that always tries something different.
Yeah. And that's why I say it's just really tough because he did bring some different things to the table.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they were monumental enough to garner that. Like, I think
you're saying artist wise, like production wise, we can definitely pinpoint. Like,
we can pinpoint.
We don't get a blueprint. We don't get
his mark. But this is the other thing. Is like Kanye brought other stuff. Like it's kind of like with Jay. Like you bring other stuff outside of music, and now the allure is different. If you didn't have the Yeezys, then could we really give Kanye that?
So would you say? I just thought about this. Yeah. So like, if we would say that, like Jay is MJ, right?
Yeah.
Like just say if we say that, if we say Jay is MJ, will we say Kanye would be AI? And what I mean by that is Kanye was the artist that came in and said, it's cool to be me.
Yeah, I can do that.
So not so much AI, because I think most people might put AI as like Pac. Because but I mean as far as because when you think of AI, you think of brashness. Yeah. You think of in your face. Yeah. You think of the tats. But when I'm saying Kanye, like Kanye made it cool to like, oh, if you want to wear a polo, wear a polo. You don't gotta be thugged out. Like he was on a label where you were supposed to be this and he was this. Yeah. Allen Iverson was in a league where you were supposed to be this and he was this.
Yeah. And I think that I could take that as a fair comparison because Kanye did change the outlook. Like he did what Tribe did a couple years before, like made people comfortable with like, oh, you don't have to be from the streets. Yeah, you don't to make. And music. Then that music came back around again. The gangster music came back around again, and they were like, oh, okay, well maybe you do. And then Kanye comes and is like, okay, well maybe you don't.
Exactly.
And that is probably would be the biggest thing, but I don't know. It's hard because
and that's what I felt that too. I felt like it was a hard thing
it's
because
a hard thing, man. I don't know where to categorize.
If I throw everything, he's top 5.
Yeah,
and because if I put production, like
artistry,
the artistry,
business,
the look as far as fashion, the business, you can't knock him. Like I'm like, you have to him there.
But then that opens the door for other people, right? It
does.
So we go, where's Pharrell stand?
Yeah, it does. It opens the door.
I feel like Pharrell has a more universal appeal than Kanye.
I agree with. No, he does, and it's because of the things that. I mean, you got to think Pharrell is produced for Disney movies. And, you know what I mean? So his touch and his reach has reached more. You know what I'm saying? More areas in that sense. So I get that.
His sound, the Neptune sound, to me was way more monumental than Kanye retooling the old soul samples. Because soul samples were a part of 80s.
It was a part of hip hop.
You just
in general.
retooled it in a different way.
Like whereas Pharrell brought something that was new that we hadn't really heard. I can get that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I say Kanye's a hard guy to sell because his influence might not be as big as we think it was.
And especially musically.
Yeah, musically it might
because
not be
I think and when saying musically it means more or less in the sense of a sound.
Yeah.
Like of course, we heard Rockefeller with that sound, but outside of a sound, whereas I feel that Kanye's influences, like all the way around, would be monumental. It's crazy because then you go like as far as like I said, a lot of guys who were able to then come in and go. I think you open up the door for a Lupe, for a Cudi, like you know what I'm saying. We don't get other monumental guys like that.
Those people,
if it's not for a Kanye going, oh, I can rock like this, and you get a Lupe to go, oh, I can skateboard.
That's what's up,
and still be on records with the shooters.
Yeah,
like you know what I'm saying.
So I think that's.
So hey, Christian and Bub, thank y'all for that convo.
Oh God, but this is the thing though. And this is why I always say the subjective nature to picking someone in a list, like a top 5 or something, is so subjective because for them, they witnessed the rise of Kanye West like we witnessed the rise of LeBron James.
Yeah, because it's almost like a different. It's a different. I don't know. It's just a different.
Yeah, it's how you relate to it.
It is how you relate to the person. So I think a lot of that stuff has to do with it, like, because I think we even talked about like as far as like actors and stuff like that. A lot of it is how you relate because, like Var had said. So I had asked him. I was like, so like, who's your top 5?
Yeah,
like actors. Who's in your top 5? You will never guess. Like in a million years, I could give you a million guesses. You would never guess who his top 5 was. I'll give you 5 chances right now to guess this one person, and you will never guess it. In his top 5 actors, mind you, he's in the 20. He's still in his 20s.
Michael B. Jordan?
No, not the actor, but the dude I'm talking about.
Var is in his 20s. Yeah. Oh man, that's rough. In his 20s.
Yeah, I never in a million years would have thought the person that he said as one of his favorites.
I'm trying to think like new people, like guys in this.
The dude isn't a new dude.
He's an old dude?
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy?
Nah.
Who's his top one?
It's not his top one, but he in his top 5. Yeah. Adam Sandler. I did not, when he said it, I looked at him and was like, for real? I was like, seriously?
As a Adam Sandler, I watch all of Adam Sandler's movies.
I do too. But in my head, he's not in my top 5 of actors. He may make good movies that I like to watch.
You know what might have put him over the top? Uncut Gems.
No, he didn't like Uncut Gems.
He didn't like Uncut Gems?
He didn't like Uncut Gems.
Okay, man, I was thinking that role might have made him.
He did not like Uncut Gems. He did not like it at all. He didn't like Uncut Gems.
That's hard, man.
And that's what I said to him. I was like, oh, so you like Uncut Gems, which I did.
Yeah.
And he was like, nah, I really wasn't fooling with that. But he was like, so all of the other joints. So I was just like, all right. I was just like, I just did not expect you to say, that was not the name that I expected to hear.
Yeah. Like I moved Jeffrey Wright to my top.
Oh yeah, so they didn't know about Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah,
I told him about Jeffrey Wright, and I was like,
"Let me tell you something."
I was like, "Do y'all know who Jeffrey Wright is?"
Let me tell you something.
One of them was like, I was like, "Have y'all ever seen the first Shaft?" And he's like, one of them was like, "Oh yeah, I seen that." I was like, "Peoples," and he was like, Oh, people.
I was like,
okay.
but he's not
I was
Dominican,
like, but he's
bro.
not Dominican. Like
He's not.
I was like,
But
he's
you
not,
would have thought.
But you would have thought that
He was Dominican. And
Yeah.
if you see him with a Jamaican accent, you'll think he's Jamaican.
So I put, like, for me, Jeffrey Wright and Jake Gyllenhaal
are your one A, one B?
Well, no, Denzel is
okay, top. All right.
But Jeffrey Wright and Jake Gyllenhaal, I like them because to me they're character actors.
Yeah.
Like they get in the roles.
Yes.
Like so
where
Denzel
is being Denzel as somebody
else.
Yeah.
With a Jake Gyllenhaal, like in Prisoners, Jake Gyllenhaal like created a tick. Like he gave the cop a tick.
Yeah.
Like he'll give the actual character things that wasn't written into the story.
Yeah.
He gave him little nuances that when you watch, you'd be like, oh, that's why he keep like tweaking his eye like that and stuff. Because you made him, you said that he had that. Like, you know what I mean? Jeffrey Wright is one of those that he gets in, like Jeffrey Wright played Basquiat. Like Jeffrey Wright played Martin Luther King.
Yep.
Jeffrey Wright is in Westworld.
He can do a lot of stuff.
The Goldfinch.
Yep, he's
on,
in that.
Amazon.
I was going to start that because I watched the trailer.
Yeah.
And then I think I got caught up in something and then
but he's just a real good actor. Like if he's in something, I'll watch it. Yeah. He was in the Mockingbird joints, the Hunger Games.
Yes.
He's in that.
Wonderful.
Like, yeah, he
can be a thug.
He can be in any joint.
Teacher.
And he's not the Denzel.
No.
He's always like the starring. He's the starring, you know what I mean? But him and that's the same thing with and that's why I said those two are up there for me. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I think Lakeith Stansfield is moving.
Look, I like Lakeith and I like Daniel. I always mess his last name up.
Yeah. I can't.
Coulier?
Something like that.
I think Daniel Coulier. I think that's his name.
But we got some.
And even Denzel's son, even David
he's
John
making
David
moves.
Washington. He's making moves too. I like him.
He got little arms though. His arms are really short.
And he has Denzel. You could tell it. It's his dad.
You can see it.
You could tell it's his dad.
He tries not to do it, but you look at him and you're like,
you just can't help
it. Denzel's son.
Yeah, you can't. He's not going to be able to help that.
It's not.
Like,
because there's certain things that he says, and you can, like, his throat projects a Denzel tone.
How Denzel would do it, yeah.
And you'd be like, was that Denzel?
Nah, for sure. I agree.
Yeah, that joint's crazy. I think for top 10 lists and it's always
it's
gonna
hard.
Be,
it's always going to change because, like, at some point, like those guys we named, Lakeith, Daniel, like if they keep on the trajectory that they are, they're gonna eventually move people
around
out, and then you're gonna have some people that just become like, I don't say Biggie, like Pac was never necessarily in my top 5 or anything, but Biggie's somebody that I just like. No, you got to. Some people are just cemented.
There's not enough work.
You're cemented, and I can just.
It's
you're
not
cemented. You're that person where you're.
Yeah.
Eventually, Denzel is gonna be that person that you just be like, you don't need to add him. He's up there. He's out. He in that list.
We got to move somebody else in that spot. But if you would like to make us number one in your top podcast list, you can now go to Spotify.
Yes.
Apple Podcasts. We are on most streaming platforms. You can also go to SoundCloud and look up the Stitch and Sham Show.
So you don't have to just watch us.
Yeah, you don't have to watch us. You can listen to us. You can be at work. Doing what you got to do, because I know sometimes if you got the video up, it could probably slow your productivity down watching us. But now you can just listen to us and do your work. So check us out again on Spotify. We're now up on Apple Podcasts, and again we have SoundCloud and I think some other streaming platforms as well. And if you want to be of service, go to patreon.com/Uhrise. Join the university.
Yes.
I'm telling you, it helps us greatly. We're trying to make some big moves. We've been talking about some bigger steps that we're getting ready to try to take soon. And you guys, again, your donations, and you'll see also on the bottom there, you'll see the Cash App. It's $Uhrise. Listen, we need you guys. We're not even going to front like we don't.
Yep.
Okay? We're trying to make moves. You can also go to UhriseMusic.com. Check out stuff by Stitch Early. Check out stuff by Shan Phoenix, and also our Uhrise Collective project we got up there. We're working on some new stuff. We got that in the works. I know we've been talking about merch. We getting ready to bring some merch to the deal. Things is about to happen. So we thank you guys for your participation. Please join the university. Please reach out. Let us know if you wanted us to talk about some stuff too, man. We down for that too. You know what I mean? We try to make some moves out here. With all that said,
It was like you had to take a breath.
I was like, man, because after we added the Spotify stuff, I was like, that is a lot of stuff.
It spreads it out. You know what I mean?
We're going to put it on a ticker too. Maybe he'll put it down there and you can see
so that y'all can actually see the links.
Yeah, see the links. But yeah, man, we thank y'all guys for tuning in to the Stitch Sham Show. I've been one half of the team, Sham Phoenix.
I am the other Stitch Early.
And we will see you guys later. Peace.